I have a problem. Well, I have multiple, but the point of this video is to just go over one of them, right? One at a time. That's how we break it down. I have become a sketchbook collector more than a sketchbook sketcher, user, filler outer. I struggle with so many things, but the point of this video, and if you're one of the people that, I'm all about not wasting anybody's time. You know, I'm going to say this at the beginning of this video, who this video is not for. If you have filled out a sketchbook that people look at and can flip through multiple pages and ooh and ah, just stop watching. This isn't for you. You're the people that I'm against in this video because I am so jealous that you can do that. I have something called sketchbook syndrome, journal syndrome. This is something that I've struggled with my whole life, and I'm finally coming out to let everybody know about it. I'm wondering if there's other people out there that have had similar issues, because I want to start a support group. Sketchbook syndrome is not unlike blank page syndrome, where you stare at a blank page. Sketchbook syndrome is something far more difficult to overcome. It's you get this sketchbook, and it's just so precious. It's a blank slate, literally. I often think of the Grail Diary in The Last Crusade. You know, Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade, and you see, like, you know, Sean Connery's filling it out, and he's got his little fountain pen, and he's doing his little doodles of the stained glass windows, and that he who illuminate this illuminate me. And I struggle. I still struggle. I've come up, though, with coping skills, and the coping skills are what we can talk about today, how to overcome this sketchbook syndrome. So there are some easy, silly ones, not even worth really demonstrating. You know, one thing that I've done is just kind of like started in the middle, maybe upside down. You know, other people might rip a page out if it's so, you know, breaking the preciousness of it. Because once it's precious, you feel like you're going to ruin it. And you can't ruin a sketchbook. Well, I mean, you can ruin it if you want to, but you won't do it through trying. Experimenting is, I guess, what a sketchbook's all about. I mean, I don't know about you, Will, but for me, that's what it's all about. I have over here a brand new, in the packaging sketchbook, and the first thing I'm going to do is rip off its condom because I don't believe in practicing safe art. And, oh, I have a little trash can, and I'm going to show you some more ways that for somebody like me, I don't know about you, you're artistic, so logic and reason must be very, very high on your list of priorities, and that's how I attempt to break in a sketchbook, through logic and reason. What would be a logical way to break it in? Now, one way that I break in a sketchbook is just, you know, writing down contact information. So, you know, I would make sure that if I lose this sketchbook, somebody can find it. And, you know, there you've got your blank page again. We're just going to have to dive right in and, you know, write, you know, Dr. Henry Jones. And if I was so inclined to remember what the address was on the mailbox, I could fill that all out later. But you get the point. We are on our way to a Grail Diary with a spiral bound. I guess I could have used one of these, but I'm pretty sure they're going to want it back to sell. Anyway, so you've already, damn it, it's not precious anymore. You've put your name in it. Now there's no going back. You can't return it. You can still put it on a shelf, though, and it can sit there and collect dust. And for somebody like me, where I don't pay a lot for this stuff, family, they very easily start to collect. So anyway, putting your contact information, just slowly making it your own. Now, another thing that I like to do is give the sketchbook a purpose. Now, hopefully that's not a paperweight or something to get your dog off something. It's a purpose for the sketchbook. So I deem this sketchbook, wait, drum roll, thank you. I deem this sketchbook Happy Trees. Why? Why not, right? And what that means is I've decided that this sketchbook over here, I'm going to go out and just do trees. You know, just sketch and draw trees. And when I want to see my progression with trees, I will go to my Happy Tree sketchbook. And I can literally, you know, this is one of those Union Squares, so I can decorate the cover if I want to, you know, doodle a little tree. But that's boring and you're going to take time. One of the last things I want to show you that really is a useful thing outside of putting your name in and giving your journal or sketchbook a purpose, either one, even if it's just a writing journal, what will your journal be about? Probably you. But the last thing I want to say when it comes to a art journal that I like to do, and this is a little secret, okay? Everybody pay attention, but don't tell anybody, is I like to create a little color chart. So I also deem it medium. Although I might vary or stray from that, I have probably decided that this heavyweight drawing paper will be something I use with pencil and colored pencil. So what I might then do is say, okay, I'm going to use my raffinate colored pencils in this sketchbook most likely. Look, it fits so nicely. They go together and it's all cute. And what I would just do is, per ejemplo, which is Spanish, so for example, for you English-speaking audience members, I just want to make sure nobody's left out, I would go probably chromatically, so Roy, red, so I would just grab a red here, and I would take my colored pencil, which doesn't have a color name on this, so I'm just going to say red. And the purpose of doing this is so that I can see ahead of time, I can get an idea of how the color lays on it, so that when I'm out on the field, I can always have this as kind of like a reference page. Take my little pen, and I write a word. And that word can be red. If I wanted to continue on with this, outside of just going through, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, earth tones, blacks, things that Roy G. Biv doesn't know about, I could also make a little color wheel and see how the colors lay on top of each other. You can go crazy. But the bottom line is, I have no longer left this perfect, precious book sit there, and there's something about just that little act of getting your name in it, giving it a purpose and a title, bringing it, making it your own, that makes it a little bit easier to jump onto the first page, the second page, any page you want, and get started. One last trick that can be applied to a blank page, and I learned this from my good friend Dan Nelson, is that when you're dealing with a blank page, this is just the last thing real quick, is that drawing a border is always a great way to start with a blank page. It doesn't have to be the full page. It could be just quarter page, half page, any way you want to divide it up. And he always said that this gets you kind of thinking more designerly. And it does that. It absolutely does get me thinking more designerly, but it also breaks the preciousness and the clean slate of a blank page. And to prevent a blank page syndrome video, which will waste even more time, look at me just wrapping it up into the end of this. So these are just some of my coping skills of how to break in a new sketchbook, because I have got shelves of empty books. Those poor trees. That's why I dedicated it to the trees. It's a good cause. Find your cause, find your sketchbook, and do what makes you happy. That's all for now. Goodbye. Let's just call that a video. Who's impressed that I got that done so quickly? You're impressed.